6:41 now on a very chilly Sunday morning. We're getting a little light snow currently at the Century Casino in Cripple Creek. You can see Bennett Avenue is mostly wet, but probably won't be for much longer if the snow continues. Not really seeing any snow yet in Woodland Park, so what we've had out there falling from the sky has been pretty spotty in nature, but that won't be the case a little longer into the day here as this shallow layer of cold air that's currently giving us the light precipitation is replaced by this deeper layer of colder air, which has had a band of heavier snow going through the night over extreme northern Colorado. So that'll be surging southward before too long, and then we'll start to see precipitation become much more widespread. But the cold air is here. It's not going anywhere from the teens to around 30 in eastern Colorado, and that's as much as we should expect as far as warmth is concerned today. We do have 40s and 50s, though, on the other side of the mountains, as the Sangre de Cristos in particular are a real good barrier to this shallow layer of colder air, but eventually the deeper stuff will come into the southern valleys as well. So Futurecast has done a pretty good job showing mostly cloud conditions and or very light precipitation in eastern Colorado this morning. Notice as we hit 4 o'clock, though, bands of snow become much more widespread along the Front Range. Some of this, by the way, will start as some rain out across the San Luis Valley, being that you'll still be pretty warm. But for most of us, this is going to come down as some snow. Highs today, well, what you see is what you get. Teens to lower 30s. We're not moving. And even the mountain valleys, where we're in the mid-50s in some cases now, aren't going to get any warmer than that. So we've already realized our high temperatures for the day. As we head into the evening hours, the snow becomes quite widespread across most of eastern Colorado. You see some darker blues on the map. That's an indication that there could be some bursts of heavier rain. There will be a banded structure to this sort of precipitation in an event like this because of the positioning of the jet stream. The best way I can describe this is a little bit like thunderstorms. There will be some localized areas where the snow comes down very heavily for at least a short period of time, but it's very difficult to know exactly where those areas will be. They will be embedded within a larger area of light to moderate snow that's going to impact everybody. So we're all going to get snow. The question becomes how much do you get, and that's where it always gets a little tricky. It does look like it'll go on through the night, though, before starting to wind down by tomorrow morning in parts of our area. When you wake up, single digits and teens everywhere, so obviously what's falling from the sky is not going to melt, so we would expect some slick travel. And Futurecast is showing some pretty heavy snowfall amounts, particularly near the wet and Sangre de Cristo Mountains where you see the pink on the map. That makes sense with this sort of storm system. And in general, as you move away from the mountains, you'll probably have lesser amounts of snow than we will have closer to the mountains. Now, these are computer model projections. Take them for what they're worth. They're showing in general 3 to 6 to 4 to 8 inches around the Pikes Peak region. And that's probably reasonable. This will be a light, airy snow, pretty easy to move, which is unusual this early in the year. Usually we would expect a late October storm to give us that real heavy, wet, like concrete-like stuff. So we're not going to have that to worry about, but it does look like it's going to be cold enough that everything that falls is going to stick, and we'll have some slick travel. We could have some heavier amounts as you start getting into Fremont County, a little closer to the mountains, Canyon City, maybe more than 8 inches. I do feel pretty comfortable about these 12-inch and greater amounts near the wet and Sangre de Cristo Mountains with a storm like this. I've seen this happen often with this type of storm before, so it would not shock me at all to have 1 to 2 feet of snow over the higher terrain south and west of Pueblo. Probably not quite that much over the southern I-25 corridor, but 3 to 6, 4 to 8, certainly reasonable. Cuchara could pick up a foot or more. We'll also have some snow out across the Raton Mesa, maybe on the order of 2 to 4 inches or 3 to 6, but that could actually go on into tomorrow afternoon in that part of the state, so those numbers may go up a little higher than what you saw there on the computer model forecasts. Right now, just a lot of gray is seen from Highway 115 in Turkey Creek. There's been a little bit of a light freezing drizzle at times and some flurries here and there. We're in for a colder week compared to last week for sure, and we are worried about the commute for tomorrow morning. This is obviously all great news for wildfires. We've been asking for precipitation for a long time. Looks like we're going to get quite a bit of it. And we'll have a lot more on the extended forecast coming up here soon. Colby, back to you.